Single Taurus friends, it's Tarot My Love. Thanks for joining me. I'm David, using the Ethereal Visions Tarot deck today to do your singles read, the Four Pillars read. This is for June. Whoa. Reminder, Monday is always Aries and Taurus day. So, we also have the heart spread up. That's for when you have someone on your mind. This is for you hardcore individuals that are totally and completely single, which is good for this because what we're going to do is call up your soulmate here. We're asking Spirit to show us the one that's right for you. Not your next ex-problem, your next ex-wife, your next ex-husband, but the one that's right for you, like you're going to be right for them. And we're going to try to meet them and get to know them. Like, think of it like they've been flying around in an aeroplane and they can't land because you've been busy, and now we're clearing a runway for them. We're going to pick them up and take them out and meet them. We're going to look at their emotional nature. Coming in with the Four of Wands. We're going to look at their also emotional nature with the Moon. This is the Moon energy in general here with the emotional nature. This is the deep unconscious here. Pisces Moon person comes to mind off the bat. I think we got like a real empath here, so I haven't seen that in a while. Like the real deal. Possibly some kind of medium energy, something like that. Knight of Wands is their intellectual position, and Knight of Pentacles. Wow. So, not all Pisces moons are wimps. Comes to mind. Over here, I'm going to look at their sexual and love nature and their core values are called and lifestyle. But let's take a look at this first, and because this is a lot. This is the sun and moon, like I said, the conscious, the unconscious, and see what we can get from this person. Now with the Four of Wands here, thank you, because this is one of those rare people apparently who had a really solid childhood. Age, I don't really see age yet, although these knights, yes, so they're 30ish maybe. They could even be in their late 20s. So their parents are probably still alive and they're probably still married, so they'll tell you that story. Trying to pick up on some specific things. So we're looking at the Pisces moon. We're looking at the fact that they're maybe in a certain age, late, mid to 20s to less than 40 anyway, type of energy. Also emotionally, that makes them very stable, but also emotionally available here with the moon. Possibly you could say two available. They also look for a moon in the 8th house. I don't know how to say this succinctly, or something going on in the 8th house, because that's where energy goes out and comes in, and you see this empath. Now, mentally, wow. So I was going to say this could make them very vulnerable to everything from psychic attacks to just being used. People can come into their life who are users and want to take from them, take their energy from them. Energy vampires are drawn to these type of people, your person here, Taurus, like, moths to the flame. Um, and so if they don't protect themselves, they get themselves in all kind of trouble. But your person, grew up in a home where they were shown what it's like to be mature. They were given love. They were developed self-esteem naturally throughout their childhood. Um, and so emotionally, they're very stable and strong. Um, and boy, this could set them up to do any kind of work. We'll have to see over here. Having to do with healing, psychology, that kind of thing. But with the Knight of Wands and the Knight of Pentacles, boy, they mentally they're going to come at you. I think this is a person that's going to talk a lot. They're going to have a little bit a louder voice than normal. I don't think it's going to be a bad thing. I think it's going to be this is someone that's kind of like you could say a natural born leader too. You know what comes to mind? I remember the first time I really was around a true alpha male person and got to really know him. And I believe that if you follow it, the Maslow's 1% or 2% of the population that's self-actualized and all this. Um, but I remember like the energy that they had, how it was, and that calm assertiveness and about them. And made me realize, what it means to be confident and to be. There's no pounding of your chest. There's no bravado involved. And it actually just kind of draws, like you don't even have to, they don't even have to say anything. People just sort of look to them. So when they're speaking, and they could even be pontificating or whatever, I think people are going to like it. They're going to look to them, and they're just a natural born leader too. I forget with the Minnesota multifaceted personality test. I'm an INFP, but one of those is the natural born leader. INFJ maybe. No, not probably the F, but and used to do this in my work, for 20 years, and it would come up. We would have use these tests, and it was amazing how every time somebody got that particular designation, they were absolutely the born leader. And so that's going to be a strong aspect to this. So this is someone that wants to take control of the situation. Again, this is your person. We're not looking for toxicity or anything like this. Um, but they, honest to God, they should take control because one of the things a Zen master said that got me, he said, the problem with the world is you have unenlightened people leading unenlightened people. Well, I'm not saying this person's enlightened, but this person is grounded and strong and stable, emotionally stable. They have a very good mind, a lot of ideas. Many of them are very good with the Knight of Pentacles. I mean, this is not a bullshitter. This is someone who's like just interesting and extroverted and wants to come out uh, and engage. They're going to listen. And they're going to be focused on actions that work towards building something. So they're future oriented. They're not past oriented. They're positive. They're just naturally positive thinking. They're not afraid. But these knights, like this person, they may say, "It's weird. I have no fear." They're probably not kidding. Very confident energy, guys. I like it. Now sexually, we got the Nine of Wands and got the Seven of Pentacles. Okay, got the Tower up here. This is in their lifestyle and core values, and the Ten of Wands. Let's take that reversed. So, sexually is interesting. There's something going on there. I try to pick up on, not really picking up with these knights on a sun sign. Well, that's not picking up on a Mercury sign either. Kind of got a, you would think it'd be a fire Mercury though. Aries or Leo or Sag. Leave it like that. Now, so the sexual, I'm trying to think, Seven of Pentacles, that's certain, that's always Seven of Pentacles is like the, um, can be a Virgo to me, Venus, because you're judging your harvest here. I love this card too. It captures, I think, the energy of this card. You're just really taking a good look at, what you've done and what you've created, what you've built, the time you spent here, probably around a relationship, uh, and trying to decide, is it measure up? And, this can imply that they are a person that kind of expects a lot out of their partner. I just gotta tell you again, I don't look for toxicity or something. You guys will work it out. But I think they do. They kind of expect a lot. I mean, this might be the kind of person too. Like, if you were to say to this person, like, "Honey, what do you think? Should I wear this dress?" Assuming it, you know, you're a woman, or if you're a guy wearing a dress, that's okay. Okay, but how do I look in this dress? Is it okay? And they say to you, I don't know. You know, you have gained about 8 pounds in the last couple weeks, and that's a little tight around the midriff. And get a little specific about it. You know, you'd be like, you could have just said no. Where'd the other one? But yeah, like that. You know, nine of wands could be a Leo. Could be like a Leo Mars here. Yeah, and I think they're kind of dominant. It's kind of the same thing with these Knights of Pentacles, the Knight of Pentacles and Knight of Wands. They're a dominant person. I think they want to be dominant in the bedroom. They're pretty straightforward. So, you know, they're not bringing in any kink or anything they're hiding, or not hiding, but, you know, they're not bringing in emotional stuff that's not dealt with, like a lot of times goes into the bedroom. I think they're pretty straightforward, and they'll want to take control, and I think they'll be like a pretty passionate lover too with the Nine of Wands, and kind of aggressive but passionate. This is like that passion where, you know, you by the time you kick the door closed behind you, you already had sex and you're pregnant. You know, uh, I don't want to imply that they're quick though, but I mean like just a lot of passion. But they may take their time too. Like with you, it's going to be different. You're their soulmate. But I think if you talk to them, what they might tell you is like, you know, they are really slow to get into a relationship. They're going to look at it every which way, you know, before they get into it. That would be that Virgo Venus if they're doing that. Um, and so they might tell you those stories, you know. But I think even with you, like they're probably not someone go to bed with you on the first date. You know, they'll wait until they feel like that you are. They've made sure that you meet their high standards. But I'd like to say with you, it's liable to be different, right? But that's good. They're very discriminating. You know, they're definitely not a slut. You know. Oh, the Tower and the Ten of Wands reversed. Going with that Nine of Wands. Um, I get like iconoclast. Like there's someone that goes against the system. It goes with these Knight of Wands and Knight of Pentacles. Um, and the reversed Ten of Wands. So in reverse, it's not a burden, or you're carrying the burden. I get like they're kind of an iconoclast, and I think they don't like tend to agree with the system. Um, in whatever system it is. I don't know if they were in communist, say back in the day, and they were in Russia when it was a communist country. They would have been a good Politburo, a good member of a good comrade in the Communist Party, and promoting communism and that kind of thing. But if they're in America, then promoting capitalism, that kind of thing. But this person, the opposite. So wherever they are, they're going to be against the status quo. You see that a lot around Uranus energy in their chart. It's hard to say exactly how that would be, but it would just be, you know, probably square or opposite Saturn, something like that. Um, so they might be in a tither right about now, come to think of it, because Saturn is in this year-long wrecking ball energy with Taurus. And so actually this might be a really good time for them. Um, they might too be good with crisis too. Like they can really deal well with crisis, and if there's in any way it could be called a crisis management, they might be good at crisis management. I think they take responsibility. I get the crisis man. They take responsibility for problems and breakdowns. I mean, this could be anything for like they just do maintenance. I get like robotic engineer. I think there are such things now. Uh, um, that kind of thing. It could be on a more social level. It could be like a city manager, something like this. And They have a lot of energy in what they do. Maybe a little bit too much, kind of a little bit like this. They have to be careful about being too open and being empath and letting too much in, and how they deal with that. But I think they've learned to be more forceful than they maybe naturally are. And here it's like they have a tendency to take on too much. So if you're in a relationship, you have to work this out. This might be like, wow, I have an opportunity to do this new project that's come up, but the old project's not over. So I'm just going to have to do both of them for about 6 months, and you can be like, whoa, 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 we already don't have any time together, and that's where you might have to work it out. Because I feel like too, this could be a little of the energy, like in terms of lifestyle and work, like in other words, friends, social obligations, work obligations. They might have trouble saying no, you know, to that. Whereas in general, I don't think they have any trouble saying no in the rest of their life. But right when it comes to work, maybe, or like in terms of they feel like a social obligation or something, they might have trouble saying no. And again, this is where you can step in if you want. If you're like me and say, no, we're not going to that party because want to go and do this, you and I, or something like that. So, wow, Taurus, I think that gives you some idea what your person might be like. But and I appreciate you giving me a like. And always keep in mind Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus energies. We're talking about all of these. Sometimes might not be Sun here. I'm not sure what I come up with the Sun here. But we got some other markers. So thank you guys. And I do appreciate everybody subscribing. Thank you so much for that. It means a lot.